Good morning, everybody. I'm happy that you're joining me for today's practice. Today, I would like to share a little sequence with you that I like to practice first thing in the morning just to wake my body up and to feel good to start into the day. You can do this practice without anything. There's no props needed. Only in case you have some knee issues, I recommend taking a blanket and maybe you can have a cushion as well. But if you feel that anything does not work for you, then just make sure that you find an alternative that works for you. We start in Adho Mukha Virasana, the extended child's pose. For this, come to the end of your mat, join the big toes together, and then open the knees about mat distance apart so that you will have some space for your belly to go in between. In case this is painful for your knees, grab the cushion and the blanket, and you can just roll up your blanket and then place it inside of the knees, and you put the cushion to sit on. Like this, you have more space in your knee. Whatever version it is that you're choosing, make sure you're comfortable in it. And then from here, look in front of you for a moment. Draw your navel a little bit in so that you're not overarching the back. And then take your arms and rotate the shoulder outwards so that the hands are facing upwards. The palms are open towards the sky. And then from here, keeping the shoulders as they are, you just rotate the lower arm down so that you can place the hands onto the ground. Keep on looking forward, keep drawing your navel a little bit in, and then keeping the shoulders as they are, you walk forwards with your hands as far as this is possible. And when you cannot walk any further, then you bring the hands to the ground. Make sure you're spreading your fingers wide. And then finally, if this is possible for you, you can release the forehead to the ground. Make sure that in this position, the buttocks is still pressing onto the heels. And at the same time, the hands are really pressing into the mat. It's an active posture here. The spine is really, really long. You draw your navel still a little bit in. This is rather difficult in this position. And then take a few deep breaths here. Just noticing how your belly is moving while you're breathing in between your legs. And feel the length that you are creating in your spine here. And really think about elongation of the spine. Don't think about making yourself small and rounding the back. But you want to have a very long back here. So instead of thinking that you need to press the head into the ground, think more about the chest coming to the ground. But remember, the buttocks is still pressing onto the heels. Take 3 more deep breaths here. And then with your next inhalation, lift up the buttocks a little bit. Tuck your toes under. Sit back as far as you can one more time. If you have the props here, it doesn't matter, they can still be there. And then inhale, and from here, without changing anything in the upper body, on your exhalation, you lift yourself up. If you have props, they will fall out. It doesn't matter. So now here we come into a downward facing dog, and we don't stay long because we shift our weight directly forward again. And now make sure that the hands are really under the shoulders. Maybe you need to correct your position now. And then one more time, we shift the weight backwards And now let's build up our downward facing dog. So you can bend your elbows for a moment just to rotate the arms again, that the shoulders are rotated away from the ears. And then if it's difficult for you to have a long back here, maybe bend your knees a little bit to really elongate the spine. Think about bringing the buttocks diagonally upwards to the back. Stay here. If it's possible for you, you can lengthen the legs, but without compromising the spine. If you are able to lengthen the legs, then really engage the thigh. Strong posture here. For the moment, no need to think about bringing the heels to the ground. Just think about creating a long back. And then make sure that you're also releasing your head here. There's no need to hold it up. Stay here, last moments. Keep it strong. And then slowly exhale, bring the knees down. We go one more time into Adho Mukha Virasana. Take the props if you need them. But this time, allow the arms to relax down, elbows down. Make it a relaxed position this time. Keep on breathing here. Noticing if there's any difference to the posture we had before in this position. One more deep breath. And then one more time, prepare yourself to come up into downward facing dog. For this, first of all, elongate your arms completely again. Press the hands into the ground, fingers are widespread. You lift up the buttocks, you tuck your toes under, you sit back as far as you can one more time. And then from here, with your exhalation, lift up into downward facing dog. Very nice. And then walk your dog by bending one knee after the other, lifting the heel a little bit at the same time. Just walking around, and then you can start to make this movement more free. Do whatever you feel is nice and right for you now. And I invite you to shift the weight as well towards a plank and back. Maybe go even to the sides. If you can, all this with your eyes closed. Just do whatever feels good for you right now. And then slowly come back to just walking your dog. And then finally, stay in downward facing dog. In stillness, engage the thighs if you're able to lengthen your legs. If it's difficult, just bend your knees and focus on the elongation of the spine. Last moments here. And then next exhalation, 2 big steps in front, in between your hands. Knees are bent, and then from here, roll yourself up vertebra by vertebra. The head is coming up last. Do this slowly and mindfully, being aware of what is going on in your body. And then come into Tadasana, the mountain pose, feet hip distance apart or feet together. And make sure that you draw your navel in and up while you're doing this so that you're not overarching the lower back. So you want to engage the belly, and at the same time we are engaging our thighs. So pull the kneecap up, engage the thighs. If you're used to practicing this, we want to have an inwards rotation of the thighs. If you're not sure what I mean for the moment, let it go. Press the mount of the big toe into the ground, engagement slightly in the belly. Take your shoulders and roll them back and down one more time. Long arms, fingers are even stretched out as well. And then take the head a little backwards. And then close your eyes here for a moment. Breathing deeply, observing any changes in your body now after the first movements. Notice where the weight of your body is. Is it more on the toes or more on the heels? It should be more on the heels than on the toes, that the bones are really stacked onto each other in this position. So if you feel a lot of weight on the toes, shift it backwards. You want to be in one line. And then keep this posture, and we are only changing the arms. So over the sides, lift up your arms, long arms, the palms are parallel to each other. So you can look up for a moment to check if this is correct. So palms are parallel to each other. You're really elongating the body even more. Think about lifting yourself up from the ribcage. Exactly, but at the same time, the sitting bones still want to go towards the ground. So the back of your body wants to go towards the ground. The front of the body is lifting up towards the sky. Stay here, long arms, elbows are not bent. Inhale with your exhalation. Start to bend the knees at the same time. You take the hands down, bring them to Namaskar Mudra in front of the chest, and you sit down into Utkatasana. Make sure in Utkatasana that you're still able to see your toes. Don't lean too far forward. And then the tendency is here to arch the back. So make sure that you're drawing your navel a little bit in, that you're not overarching too much your back. Stay here, strong legs. If it's easy, sit a little further down. If it's difficult, maybe come a little further up. You want to be able to hold it for a bit. Stay here. Don't forget to breathe. And then exhale, slowly release. Come back one more time to Tadasana. Drawing the navel in, engaging the thighs, shoulders rotated back and down, and the head is taken backwards. Few breaths here. And then open your eyes. Come to the front of your mat in case you moved from there. Keep the right foot standing on the ground. And then you take the left one and make a big step backwards. So now the front knee should be right above the ankle. Make sure that your hips are facing forward. You want to draw your navel in and up, and the back leg is really long and engaged. The back heel is up. And make sure that the toes of both of the feet are pointing forward, not outwards. Very nice. From here, take your hands into Namaskar Mudra. Hold this position. Very nice. And then, if you don't have back pain, if it feels all right for you, lift up the arms. In case you have back pain, keep Namaskar Mudra. Inhale here with your exhalation. If it feels okay for you, you can lean a little further backwards. Don't overdo it just yet. Keep the navel drawn in. Doesn't have to be far. Inhale, exhale. Take the hands back to Namaskar Mudra. Inhale, exhale, all the way down, hands to the ground. Inhale, exhale, step back into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in between here. And then from here, with your next exhalation, we step the left foot in between your hands. Make sure both feet are pointing forwards, the toes are pointing forwards, the back heel is lifted, the back leg is really strong and engaged, and only then with your next exhalation you come up, place the hands into Namaskar Mudra. Remember the hips are pointing forwards. Yes. Hold here. Keep the navel drawn in. And then if it feels alright for you, lift the arms up above the head. Long arms, palms are facing to each other. And then if it's okay, with your next exhalation, Start bending a little more backwards. Keep on breathing here. Back leg is long. And then next exhalation. Hands back to Namaskar Mudra. Last moments here. Inhale, exhale. Big step to the front. Come to Tadasana. Breathe here. Remember the thighs are engaged, the navel is drawn in, shoulders are rotated back and down, arms are long, head is taken backwards. Very nice. And then from here, come into a little wider stand than hip distance apart, with the toes pointing a little outwards. And then from here, we inhale with our exhalation, hands in Namaskar Mudra. We start to sit down, to squat down into Malasana. If this is difficult for you, maybe you need to have a little bit of a wider stand. Or you take the blanket again, you roll it up, and you place the roll under your heels. Like this, you have a little bit of support there, and it's easier if the heels are lifted. You're pressing here the elbows against the knees are pressing back to the elbows. If you can, try to bring the thumbs closer to the chest. Yes. And then close your eyes here. For the moment, elongate the back here, making yourself really long. And then from here, next exhalation, bring your right hand to the ground. Make sure that you take the arm a little forward so that it's not the elbow anymore that is touching the knee, but that you're coming closer with the knee to the armpit. So you're bringing the right arm to the ground. You keep the legs open, and now you're taking the left arm up. You're reaching up, and you can look up if this feels right for you. If not, just look to the front. Opening here into this little twist. And don't allow the knees to collapse inside. Stay here. Last moments. And then exhale. Slowly come back. Change to the other side. Left hand to the ground. And open up with the right one. Same here. Look up or look forward. Long spine. Don't allow the knees to collapse inside. Inhale, exhale. Slowly come back to the middle, and just for a moment walk your hands really far forward, as far as you can, and allow the head to release down. Stay here in this little forward bend. Last moments here. And then slowly come back with your hands. If you had a blanket, take it out and directly come back into a downward facing dog. This time make sure that you're really elongating the back of your legs, because we had them bent for a while. So now you want to bring elongation. If it feels nice, you can also walk the dog so that you're elongating even more one leg after the other. Very good. And then from here, bring the knees to the ground. Oops, cat in the way. Whoopa. And then from here, you keep the elbows close to your body. You lean forward. You come forward towards the ground very, very slowly. This can take easily 10 seconds. And then you lie down onto your belly. You can make a little pillow with your hands for a moment to place the forehead on. Taking 2-3 breaths here. Very nice. And then take both of your legs up, allow them to fall a little bit from side to side, allowing the lower back to release. Very nice. And then bring the legs back to the ground. You're taking the right leg up, you're pulling it backwards, you're bringing the foot to the ground, pressing the pinky toe into the ground. Like this, the thigh is engaged. You do the same thing with the left leg, taking it up, pulling it backwards, bringing it back to the ground, pinky toe pressing into the ground. Now both of my thighs are working, but my butt is relaxed. Now I place my hands under the shoulders, elbows close to the body, rotate the shoulders back and down, and then keeping the engagement in the thighs. With the next exhalation, we lift a little bit up in the torso. Inhale, come back down. Only lift up from the muscles, don't push your hands. If you're not sure if you're doing it right, just take the hands off the mat. Keep the engagement in the thighs. Last few times. Very good. Pinky toes are pressing into the ground. Next exhalation, we stay up, stay here. Very good. Last moment here. And then slowly release down. Make a pillow again with your hands. Wiggle your hips, so if it felt nice for you, you can move both of the legs from side to side again with the knees bent. And then you can just roll over to lying on your back. When you lie on your back, take the arms into a 90-degree angle, palms are facing upwards. You take the left leg and lengthen it on the ground. Take the right one up in a 90-degree angle. Inhale here with your exhalation. You allow the right leg to fall to the left-hand side. The leg on the ground can turn, but it's still engaged. Long leg, foot is flexed. And the other arm, maybe it will touch the ground, maybe not. Just make sure that it's really long. So right arm is long, left leg is long, and the right leg is coming towards the ground. You can grab it with your left hand if you like. Hold here, last moment. Breathing deeply. Keep the engagement in the left leg. This is important that it's an active pose, that we are not twisting always from the same spot in the spine. Because if we just allow ourselves to drop into a twist passively, we are always turning and twisting where we are already flexible in the spine. And then next exhalation, change. Come back to the middle. Elongate the right leg. Lift up the left one. Inhale here. Exhale. Take the left leg into the twist. The right leg is long on the ground. And the left arm is really, really long. Breathe here. Sometimes when you go into these twists, you hear a little crack in the back. There's nothing to worry about. keep the right leg long on the ground. Foot is flexed. Last moments here. And then slowly, with your exhalation, come back to the middle. Stand both feet onto the ground, feet hip distance apart for a moment. Close your eyes. Take a few breaths here, allowing with every exhalation the lower back to release towards the ground. And then in case you want to go into your own practice, this is the moment to transition into your own practice. And if not, let's take our Shavasana for today. So for Shavasana, you can decide to either keep your feet standing. This is very nice in case you have some some back pain. If not, lengthen out your legs. Allow the feet to be open about hip distance apart, but not too wide. Take the arms a little lower than 90 degrees to the sides of the body, palms facing upwards. And if you feel like you need some support for your head, you can always take the blanket again and place this under your head. And then here, allow everything to be heavy. Allow yourself to sink into the ground. And simply be with yourself. Let everything be there. Gently bring your awareness back into your body and start making first movements with the fingers and the toes. You can stand one foot after the other onto the ground. And then from here, if it's in the morning, turn to your left hand side. If it's in the evening you're practicing, turn to the right. Keep on lying there for a moment. Self back up to a sitting posture. The head is coming up last. You can just sit on your heels. Take a few deep breaths here. And then bring your hands to Namaskar Mudra in front of the chest. Inhale, and with your exhalation, pull your head down and prepare yourself to go back to your day. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody.